All right, beautiful people, how we doing? How we feeling? How we living? Welcome back to my channel. My name is DeAndre. I give you videos on all things nursing, my life, and everything in between. I literally just did a video and decided to do a little outfit change because I know people would be like, "Oh my God, you dirty! Like, are you doing shit?" I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But I did wear my little nice rosa dude come here shirt, so here's what it is. So one of my subscribers, I don't know your name, friend, but I'm gonna shout you out if I can. They were like, it would be really cool if you did a video on, you know, I guess she watched my school supply haul and was like, you should do a video on like things that you use, things that you didn't use. We would really appreciate that. So here I am. I'm gonna do that, and I want to like talk to you guys a little bit on like your first semester of nursing school, like some tips, things that I think you should definitely, know, things that, ooh, excuse me, I just had some juice, that I wish that I knew before going into nursing school, you know what I mean? So yeah, and as far as my school supplies and stuff and books that I think that you shouldn't buy if it's on your school supply list, no. I have a don't get pile, and I have like a friend get that pile, okay? But first I just want to talk to you guys. It's like, hold on, I look a little fat, hold on. Ooh, my nipple is showing, sorry. I really want to talk to you guys about like things that I guess I wish that I knew going into nursing school. Like besides the part of like, oh, nursing school is hard. Da, 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 da. And I'm gonna tell you, like, when people say that nursing school is hard and it's one of the hardest things that they've ever done in their life, they're not joking. It's hard, but not in the sense that the content is difficult. It's not that you're learning rocket science. It's not that, it's like when you really sit and study the material and think about why the body reacts that it does and why you would, do this type of nursing intervention. It all makes sense, right? But the fact is that there is so much freaking information that it's like it can get overwhelming. You know what I mean? It can get to a point where it's like, oh my gosh. And then on top of that, you have to understand that stuff, get it down, then you may have some values that you need to know. And then there's a whole nother chapter that you have to, go over the following week. And that's just in one class if you're deciding to take them both at the same time. So I don't have anything written down. I'm just kind of giving y'all, just off the dome, you feel me? So I think if you just know that it's not that the content is hard, it's just that it's a lot of it. That's just what it is as far as it being hard. But if you organize yourself really well, have a good study schedule, and you stick to it and you persevere, you will do just fine. If I can make it through by the skin of his teeth, you could do it. You feel me? I basically, like my first semester, I got a B plus in calculations. I got a B in 113. And I got like a 77. So I got a C plus in 111. Which you would think like, oh my gosh, 111, 113. How do you do better in 111 than 113? Like what? But it is what it is. So a couple of tips that I would say is get ahead as much as you possibly can. My first tip I would give you is get ahead in your readings, get ahead in your assignments, get ahead in knowing terminologies like over the if you can, like, start just getting yourself familiarized with medical terminologies. Don't go crazy though. Before you get into the program, I wouldn't say like study your behind up all night, all day, but like every now and again, pick up a book, get into some material just to start getting yourself familiar with medical terminology. But definitely get ahead in your assignments. When that syllabus comes out, look over that syllabus. Already have, written down what you're going to be going over that week, what assignments are due, when they're due, when there are exams. Get you a good planner. I'm going to show you the planner that I bought on my nursing supply haul. Didn't even use it because, I'll explain later. But I'm just giving you guys the tips right now. So stay organized. Organization is so important, guys. Like, especially if you're taking multiple nursing classes, that is so important. You need to know where all your papers are. You need to know where all your notes are. You need to know where everything is. And if you're all over the place, it just makes your life even more harder. The last thing you want to do is be fumbling around for your papers that you need. You know what I'm saying? You just want to know exactly where your stuff is when you need it, So what did I say? I said, get on top of it, be organized, stay positive too. And then yeah, I really want to talk about this. All right, sit down with me. Let's sit down. Hold on. Oh no, my thigh meat is showing. But yeah, listen. So you're gonna have people, right, in the program that are just, I like to call them the negative Nancy's, you know. And no shade to no Nancy's out there. It's just that it rhymes. It just, you know, it's cohesive. The negative Nancy's, the Debbie Downers, that are literally just like, oh my god, like this is so hard. I cried last night. Like I did this, I did that. Don't listen to those people. You'll have people that'll be like, oh my god, like people, like I just don't understand why they're not helping us. I think we should write a letter to the director of such and such and this and that. You'll have people that'll be that, like, you just have like such negative people and like just love to be in negative drama and stuff like that. Stay away from people like that. Your goal right now, as you get into the program, is to get out, graduate, so that you can sit for that NCLEX. And if that means that you have to write a 10-page paper on God knows what, then so be it, friend. If that means that you have to fill out some forms and turn them in at a certain time, so be it. If that means that you're taking a skill and one instructor is a little bit harder than the other one, so be it. You know, you got to roll with the punches. And I really saw that so much, especially with everything that's going on with, you know, the pandemic. When we went to online, a lot of people were just like, oh my gosh, like how could, like what are they, you know, it was a lot of unknown. Like the first week of us going back, you know, the instructors were telling us like we're gonna have a meeting, we'll get back with you guys as far as what we're gonna do, this and that. And I was in a group chat with a few of my classmates, and some of them were just like I don't understand. Like other colleges already have everything figured out. They're doing simulations. They're doing this. They're doing that. Like this is unacceptable. I think we should write a letter. I think we should do this. I think we should do that. Don't feed into that, friend. Like especially when there's like stuff going on with the school. Let them figure that out. All you do is focus on getting out and passing. You feel me? Because there's no like, and the thing is that, you know, when it comes to nursing, you got to learn how to roll with the punches. How you're not always going to have the perfect shift. You're not always going to have the perfect patient. You just got to roll with the cards that you're dealt. You know what I'm saying? And the instructors will see that, and they will notice those who, you know, complain and who are constantly calling the school and stuff like that. So just don't get into that mess. Don't get into, you know, the naysayers, the Debbie Downers. Like just stay away from those negative people. Like, and you'll hear people that like they're giving us so much information. Like, how can they expect us to know all this information and we have not? Friend, that's what it is, friend. That's the name of the game. I feel like this instructor was so hard on me, on my skill, and I feel like I've heard at other schools they don't skill like that. Then go to that other school, friend. You feel me? Like I'm just telling you guys this. Do not feed into the drama. Do not feed into the negativity. Stay positive. I'm all about positivity, positive energy, speaking into existence of what you want, the art of actualization. But the night before you start school, before you start nursing school, you tell yourself, you look in that mirror and you tell yourself, I'm going to get through this. Come what may, come hell or high water, I'm going to get through this program. I'm going to pass. Nothing is going to stop me, and it will happen. It will come into fruition. I promise you. So stay away from negativity. So yeah, so what I say, so be on top of it, be organized, be positive, stay away from negativity. And I want to show you too, as far as my organization, I just wanted to show you my binder, like how I studied. That's another tip too. Figure out like your way of studying, because your way of studying may not be the next person's way of studying. If you're the type of person that, you know, you have to read the chapter, so be it, you know. If you're the type of person that you have to write things, so be it. So how I would do is I would basically, a lot of the times they give you like, you know, in the form of a PowerPoint. They'll give you the lecture, you know, they'll send you the PowerPoint, whatever. So I literally would print it. I started printing out on 2, but then I wanted to save some paper, so I started printing them out on 3 with the little lines. So I literally would go to lecture, with my PowerPoint, I would take my notes and everything like that. Then I would go home, and from that same chapter, I would make my own little study guide. So this is what I would do. So that chapter that you just saw was on pharmacology, And this was my little study guide that I made. So I would have like the little key concepts up here, and then I would kind of go more in depth as far as like, you know, pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamics, everything like that, little charts. I wrote in blue because I saw somewhere that a study showed that you're more likely to remember things if you write it in blue. I guess it helped, I don't know. So yeah, I think I might do another video on like study tips and stuff like that, but I just want to do a little quick one and show you guys. So yeah, that's what I did. So yeah, figure out your study habits, your successful study habits, and do that. Those are my tips, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna get into things that I think that I regret getting, and I'm gonna advise you to not get, and things that I actually bought while I was in the program and helped me out a lot. Let's start with the crappy stuff, right? Okay, so I'm not gonna say it's crap, but I was so excited about this. If you saw my last video, right? I was so excited about this nursing planner that I got from this girl. I still vouch for her because I loved her book. I thought her book was very helpful. Maureen Osuna. And if you look in here, like, I never used it, bro. Like, maybe like a few times I would try to get into it, but it ended up being a little bit too involved for me. I think this is for like if you're a very like anal OCD type person, which I'm not. This is for you. I ended up just using my phone, and I would put stuff in my phone on my calendar and stuff when things were due, things like that. I just needed like a more basic, but this is a lot involved than I anticipated. Oh look, I actually wrote on this one this week, but I really didn't stick to it. So personally, if you're someone that's like really OCD and you like all this stuff, like it has like things to do, things that are due, things to do, my plan for the week, and then your week of like, you know, morning, afternoon, and evening, go for it. If you're not, just get you a basic planner, friend, from like a Walmart. I ended up spending like, I think, man, going through this, I'm gonna be like, yo, I spent a lot of money. I think I spent ended up like $30 on this thing. If you need it, go for it. So for my clinical calculations course, they had us get this book, Clinical Calculations Made Easy, Solving Problems Using Dimensional Analysis. Now, in my previous video, I was like, I like to have my own book because, you know, I want to like write it myself because I originally rented this. But my instructor basically ended up giving us, every week she would give us her own problems, and we would have to like answer her problems and email them to her. She would never have us like go in this book and do the problems that were actually in the book. And I can tell you, I can literally count on like literally one or two hands how many times I opened this book to like use it. Because she would give us the PowerPoints on how to solve 1-step, 2-step problems. So honestly, I don't regret getting it, but I don't think I would have been better off just like waiting to, you know, just get the syllabus and the PowerPoints and stuff from my teacher. So I would say if you're taking a clinical calculations course and they want you to get this book, I would ask your former classmates or ask anyone that's had the class before if you really need to get the book, because you might not need it. Your teacher might just send you their own problems like my instructor did. So one book that I never even opened was this one, Leading and Managing in Nursing. I'm sorry, it looks backward in the video. We never went through this, like, ever. And then they tried to tell us on the final that we were going to have some questions out of chapter 20, which was on cost containment, which I feel like is common sense, like cost containment, like, okay, just be cost effective, okay? So I never read this book, ever, and I think I have to return. I rented it, so yeah. As far as your books go, I would say definitely, like, get your fundamentals. Like, this was, like, everything, my fundamentals. So this is my fundamentals. I have my tabs for all my chapters. You see, this was literally 113, and this was only unit 2. Just these 3 chapters. But so much information, let me tell you. It was like oxygenation, circulation, and fluids. Bruh. Crucial, but I got through it. I'm gonna be a nurse soon one day. Actually, and I would say this is a really good too. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm off track. I'm supposed to be doing the the crappy ones. Don't get the stuff. I'm going to talk about those later. But yeah, so far these 3, I don't really recommend that you get. Okay. Last but not least, your NANDA nursing diagnosis. Literally, my teacher had us open, like, you get this book out, like, maybe once or twice. She was like, okay, open up your books to such and such, and I'm going to show you the book that I actually love that actually already has the nursing diagnosis in there, so you really don't need to get this book, honestly. So yeah, that's that. Now, as far as, like, the stuff that I actually loved having and I would really recommend are as follows. So, first and foremost, I'm going to already go over my little case that I absolutely love. I didn't take it out much, but this is my stethoscope case that I got off Amazon. I'm really glad that I got this because it's nice to have, your stethoscope protected. All my classmates loved it. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, where do you get that from? I was like, Amazon, friend, like, go on there, period. I never used my surgical scissors, but I mean, I think it's still good to have them. Pen light. And this little guy I never got to use, but everybody loved this from, like, your badge. You can take it off and put new faces on. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, like, but I never used it. As far as my stethoscope goes, I got the Littmann, of course, 3M Classic, the Littmann Classic 3 in black with, like, black tube and, very manly guyish, as much as possible. Oh, thumbnail. So, yeah, so I love this. This was very, like, I really like that. I really am happy that I got a nice quality stethoscope. Like, when it was time to do, like, BP, and finding, like, your apical pulse and all that stuff. And it was a lot easier for me to, like, do that because I had a pretty good stethoscope. I didn't really have to use the schools. But be careful, though, because you may, for your skills test, your school may require you to use their stethoscope and not your own personal. In my school, we had to use the schools. So even though this is good to practice with, it's really make sure that you're going to skills. Oh, that's another tip I'm going to say. Go to skills lab, guys. Make sure you go to skills lab. Like at my school, it's basically open. Like, they have so many hours that it's open, and they're basically like, okay, you come to skills when you can, and you're going to be tested on it this day, that day in your lab course. Go as much as you can to practice with the equipment that you'll be using the skill on to do your skills test. So that's another going back, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm glad that I got this guy. I'm going to definitely use this once I get out of nursing school as well. I plan on, using this guy. So we like him. One book that I'm glad that I got that I started using, but not too much to the end. So this is kind of like I got the Davis drug guide for nurses. And these are all the drugs. This is basically, I think this was from like unit 1. But I think it's just good to have in general, just so you can read it. Like if there's any drug that you like don't know much of and you want to like kind of look more into, it gives you the classifications, it's adverse reactions, contraindications, assessments, teachings that you should give to your patients. So I really do recommend this book. Going back to my fundamentals, like I said, if you're gonna get any book, I would say definitely before school starts, definitely get your fundamentals books, because you'll definitely be using those, like, for sure. And do not forsake your volume 2. If your fundamentals books are in two separate, volumes, don't forsake your volume 2, because your volume 2 really goes into like the skill of what you have to know. And they have like really cool diagrams and stuff that coincide with that chapter. So yeah, make sure you look into this is more like kind of like the lab portion of it. So don't forsake your volume 2, please don't. Definitely my Mosby's definitely came in handy when I had to look up labs and look up what certain tests were and stuff. So I would definitely recommend that you get the Mosby's book. Now, as far as care plans, you guys, and this was not on our school supply list. I literally got this book because I did a lot of research on YouTube, and a nursing student was like, get this book because it will help you so much with your care plans. And guys, when I tell you, so helpful. I loved it so much. It's the Nursing Diagnosis Handbook. Literally, It gives you the nursing diagnosis. It gives you the outcomes that you can use, the interventions with the rationales. I don't know if you can see it that well, but I loved it. So literally for me, when it was time to make my nursing care plans, I would just literally open up this book, and I would have my care plan done. Like people talk about how it took me like 4 or 5 hours to make my nursing care plan. What, Fran? Really? Like, nah. It would take me like literally like an hour or two, cause 111, like the formatting is different from 111 and 113. Like 111, we only had to have 4 interventions with 4 rationales, and you had to have a short-term and a long-term goal or outcome. Whereas with, you didn't have to have a short-term and out-term. I'm like slurring my words. Hold on. You didn't have to have a short-term and a long-term goal for 111. But 113, you had to have a short-term and a long-term goal, and you had to have 6 interventions with 6 rationales behind them, right? And of course, you have to put your evaluation for both of those goals, right? So it really was not hard for me to do my nursing care plans thanks to this book, and I will definitely be using it for the semesters to come. So Nursing Diagnosis Handbook. If I can, I might just copy from my previous video the links to the these items and then put it on this video too. Another book that I highly recommend for fundamentals is your Fundamental Success. You will realize that practice questions is your best friend. Practice questions, practice questions, practice questions. I cannot stress that enough. And this helped out a lot, especially like for both 111 and 113. I would get with my friends. Shout outs to Shady. We would go over, we would do a chapter together, and we would go over the rationales. Make sure you go over the rationales for all of them as well. That's really important. So yeah, I'm really glad that I got this book. And they have it where you can get the link online. But I don't know, it's just something about a book that I like to actually turn the pages right in it and stuff. So I definitely will be using this. Well, I don't know, will I be, because 141, 142, I don't really think that's not really so much fundamentals, because I think, whatever, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully I'll still be able to get some questions out of that for my following courses. These came in really handy. So my school, they would have us make drug cards for each. There was certain drugs that you would have to know for your exam, and this was specific to 113. So each unit exam, there were a certain amount of drugs that we had to know for that exam, and they encouraged us to make a drug card. So you would have to write the drug name, the generic name, contraindications, teachings, interventions, stuff like that. But a friend of mine, she was actually a tutor of mine for calculations. Excuse me, Lord. I saw her whip out these guys, and I was like, whoa, what is that? These are Pharm Flash, so it's basically pharmacology flashcards, and there's basically drug cards for your most common drugs, and literally it tells you at the top the classification, all the drugs that kind of fall under that, and then on the back it gives you adverse reactions, what to teach the client on, indications, contraindications, its action, what it's actually doing. So I would highly recommend this. This will save you a lot of time as far as making drug cards, but just to help you study your drugs that you have to know for your exam. So I'm excited to be using this, and I will definitely be using these for the semesters to come. So one cool thing we got, because I guess my school had a contract with ATI. Wow, this video is getting quite long. Sorry. We used ATI. I ended up actually using these just for the practice questions. So, and it ended up being $30 that we paid for this. We got a really good deal with my school, so these came in pretty handy too. If you can get those, I would get them. Now, Saunders, we never really. I don't want to put this in the don't get it pile, because everyone said this set has sworn by this book. I think this book will be a lot more helpful for me when it's time for me to take my NCLEX actually. But I really never opened this book. My friend and I, Shady, We opened it like once for cardio questions. Or excuse cardiac questions. And yeah, we didn't really like the questions. They were a little bit harder than we anticipated. So I don't think this book is really for someone that's like just now starting nursing school. I would say when you get more into like the 200s, that being like your second year of nursing school, I would definitely get this book. This would definitely help when it's time for you to start studying for your NCLEX. So I know this book will be of value to me, but not just yet. And I think that is it for all of my stuff. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it up to this point, shout outs to you. Yeah, so let me know what other videos you guys would like. Is my head like cut off like in this entire video? I hope not. But yeah, let me know you guys like in the comments below what you want. What would you like from other videos you would like me to do? I know someone also said they want me to do a video on the TEAS test, so I'm more than happy to do a video on that. How I scored, I think I got like a proficient score. Very close to an advanced score, but I got proficient. Ugh, I feel like I want to take a nap. What time is it? Hold on. Where's my phone? Oh. I'm so stupid. All right, well, love you, bye.